Hey everybody, Genevieve here to talk about our upcoming new moon in the sign of Virgo. Now this is going to be Tuesday night around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And right now the sun has been in Virgo for a little while now, for about a week. So we've already been feeling kind of that earthy Virgo energy. So like I've been doing the last few videos, I'm going to kind of give you an overview of kind of how this is going to feel for your prominent placements, if your sun sign or any of your prominent placements are in certain signs, and then we'll get into some of the aspects or the major aspects of the chart, again with my handwritten notes here, and then of course talk about my oil blends and our upcoming events. So let's get that out of the way first. Tomorrow, Sunday, September 1st. Yes, welcome September. It is early fall. Football season is starting up, and some good games on today. Some have been delayed. We're kind of Penn State fans in this house, so we are. Anyway, that's an interesting little thing with the weather going on. But weather permitting, tomorrow, September 1st, here in Milford, Delaware, we have our Milford Community Craft Fair and Vendor Event, Flea Market, at Spilling River Brewing from 12 to 5. Now, it looks like so far the weather is going to be a little iffy around the setup time, a little earlier in the morning, but then the afternoon should be okay. A little bit cool, a little bit overcast. But I will get out to my vendors that we're working with there later this evening about some weather updates and all of that. But come see me and come see all the other great vendors in the local area there. And my oil blend for the Virgo moon that we are highlighting right now is my Nervous Nelly blend. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Because again, with the earthy Virgo energy, sometimes there is a tendency with the over analysis and being in the head and over analytical. There comes with that a little bit of tension that tends to affect the digestive and stomach reason a little bit more. And again, this is not everyone, of course, but is definitely a tendency. And under this new moon, it does affect the digestive tract and organs, and so you might experience some issues with that. So, use caution in what you eat. This is not a good time to have surgery, especially related to those organs. Also can be associated with our sense organs, our eyes and our nose, especially taste a little bit as well. So, be protective of those things during this new moon. Okay, so let's get into our energy. First, the overall energy here. We are talking about basically for a neutral, it's going to neutrally impact, so not necessarily good or bad, just kind of middle ground for our Aries, Libra, Leos, and Aquarius. Okay, definitely can have a bit of a negative impact on Sagittarius, Pisces, and Gemini. And then we have some neutral aspects, or good actually aspect with Capricorn, Scorpio, Taurus, and Cancer. So again, that's just kind of the overall general tendency for those placements if they're prominent in your chart. However, we're going to dig in now, right? Like I always do, we're going to dig in. So with the sun and the moon in Pisces, this brings a lot, in Virgo, because I'm always thinking a little bit ahead. We are in Virgo, new moon in Virgo right now. So this brings some individualism. Feelings can be inharmonious, but it's hard sometimes. And again, this is going to be the influence over the next couple of days to adapt to changes in the environment, unless it is a benefit to you. So be a little bit adaptable. Don't worry about the unpredictability of some things that are beyond your control. Just kind of focus, go with the flow of things a little bit. Virgo sometimes has a little difficulty with that. And hard to cope with changes that upset or destabilize the immediate comfort environment. Okay. But we have the sun and moon that are square Jupiter. Now Jupiter again is the planet of opportunity. Jupiter right now is in Gemini. So with sun square Jupiter, it does create an idealism. makes these people, there's a tendency to make great sacrifices for other people because of your optimistic goals. However, be afraid or be wary of a fear of commitment at this time. Or people that are afraid to commit to anything. Be on guard for those people. They might throw you off your game a little bit. There is a tendency for an increasing neediness in the comforts, creature comforts, or comforts of the people around you, needing other people to take care of you, and depending too much on external circumstances and conditions for you to feel okay. So, again, that's where, my Nervous Nelly blend definitely comes in handy, helps ground you, helps calm you a little bit. But of course, earth signs like the comforts of home, and so there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't like camp and refuse to leave that comfort at this time. Okay, be ready and be adaptable a little bit to changes in your comfort zone, whatever that may be. So now we're going to go into the sun, or that's also with the Jupiter, the sun and moon opposite Jupiter. The sun is also opposite Saturn at this time. Well, the sun and the moon are opposite Saturn. So with the sun, there's two kind of possibilities of what can happen. You can either give up when you're facing problems, or you become stimulated by the challenge to get better, and then you do so. And so this is a time where hard work and going with the latter on that is going to heighten your self-esteem. So if you're feeling a little bit of low self-esteem, throwing yourself into work or creative project really can help kind of lift you out of those doldrums a little bit. With the moon opposite Saturn, be careful, watch out for the tendency of hiding behind a mask, whether it's because it's difficult for you to express emotions, or whatever the case may be, you don't feel comfortable, letting people see your true vulnerable self. Take the mask off. Really, I know it's challenging for some people, but just take it off and be authentic at this time. There's a little bit of difficulty for finding, or therein again with the need of security in a stable home, and feeling a little bit off balance with that, and also finding your life purpose, right? So if you think you know what your life purpose is, but you're kind of like struggling with it, this is the time really to ground yourself again, go deep and dig and say, is this really, if this is really what it is, then I'm here for it. I'm doing it. Now Mercury right now is square Uranus, so this can bring a tendency for extreme views, but that are often unrealistic. There's a little chaos and rebelliousness associated with this, so watch out for people who are extremely independent and like to force their opinions on other people, and arrogance is definitely going to, possibly make itself known, make itself present. Be on guard for those tendencies in yourself. Watch out for it in other people. But there's definitely a curiosity and intelligence that is associated with this as well. So go with that. That's the positive. Like, again, there's always positive and negative in every situation. Go with the positive whenever possible. Mercury is square Mars. So, the planet of love and beauty square the planet of passion and war. Go figure, right? So Venus is square Mars. So unbalanced emotions are possible at this time. Watch out for friends that are turning into enemies, but also be open to people that you may have had an adversarial relationship with that now may become an ally, or possibly even a friend. Stay open to that possibility. Be on guard from expecting the impossible from partners, from friends, from associates. Like, if don't do it with yourself. I mean, some of us, and especially during Virgo season, that hardworking, Virgo, very hard on themselves. So also can be very hard in expecting too much from other people as well. So be on guard from that tendency at this time. Also be on guard with people that seem to be very either attached or support or an ally, but then tend to just lose interest very quickly and walk away to the next shiny thing. All right. It does happen. But again, if you stay grounded and focused in knowing what it is that you are doing is the right thing for you to do, keep doing it. Don't be discouraged. Venus is opposite Neptune. So, this is where we need to really develop a thicker skin. Some people have a tougher skin than others, and you don't have to be that way all the time, but people are going to throw their little spits and their little daggers and their little jabs and their little jokes, and some of us need to toughen up a little bit, get a bit of a thicker skin, and I know I think I'm pretty tough, but yeah, sometimes I can be a little sensitive. We're human. It happens, right? There is a little tendency to laziness around this time with this Venus opposite Neptune thing, but you really want to stay focused in reality, stay grounded again, but with this kind of otherworldliness of the Neptune, it does bring about great artists, inspiration, and these artists, people have, they're inspired and they create art in really good taste. So, again, there's that positive. Now, Venus is trine Pluto, so this is a pretty good aspect going on. This helps develop and maintain deep relationships. Although you might have high expectations of those close and deep relationships, you want to kind of center and kind of pull back a little bit if they're a little bit too lofty. But if you have a great expectations of yourself, then your closest relationships, sometimes you're going to have those expectations. And just realize everyone's human. Again, it's good. You, especially if you put forth that much effort for yourself and towards the people that you love and care about and are in partnership with, and they don't seem to be reciprocating, it can be frustrating. But this also is a good time for publicity, media, talent. If you have a talent in it, hone it, and making and meeting and building more useful contacts in a positive way. Also, this is a really great time with Venus trining Pluto. I mean, people with this prominent placement, but also these next few days, sexuality and sex appeal is on high alert, and but this is a good time to just express it without shame. There might be people that are not uncomfortable or not comfortable with that, and that is indeed their problem. So Mars is square Neptune at this time. This highlights mysticism, fantasy, which can be a good thing. Just don't get too carried away, because it can also bring some chaotic and, ungroundedness, flighty thoughts, and kind of just floating away into the ether, and, suppressing some practicalities. So imagination, fantasy, all that is good if you have some grounding to go along with it. Jupiter is square Saturn. So I think we had this aspect or a little bit of it on our last moon cycle, last video. But so these are contradictory possibilities. There are a lot of possibilities up in the air right now. It's hard to make a decision sometimes when that's happening. But what you want to do ideally is find the compromise between all of the possibilities, if there is one, and you'll get the best results when working with that Jupiter square Saturn, all the possibilities. Find the middle ground, find the center to work with all of it as much as you can anyway. Don't overdo yourself. Again, that is a Virgo tendency. Don't push until your brain and your body are just exhausted and you can't do anymore. Please, let's take care of ourselves, right? So a few more. I know we're already on almost 14 minutes, but it's all good info, and I only do this twice a week. It's not like I do this every day. So, I do, but I don't do videos for it every day. So Uranus is sextile Neptune right now. So this is a sextile is a pretty good aspect. And this does bring a reinforcement, a little bit of that fantasy that can lead to innovation and creativity, and, which is awesome. But you do kind of need some help from outside forces and in a chart from the other planets to kind of help manifest those possibilities, that those creative projects, and for some people, again, to help find your true path and your meaning and what you were meant to do in life. So again, this is where you're going to find those connections, and some might lead to dead ends, some might be just paused and tabled for another time, some might be yeah, too good to be true, probably is, but discernment is what is needed here, and Neptune kind of screws with that sometimes. Unfortunately, Uranus and Neptune kind of screw with that sometimes. Uranus is trine Pluto, so we've touched on this aspect before, but there is an inner duty for a lot of people with this prominent placement, and at this new moon cycle, to really a drive and an inner duty to make change on your personal surroundings, but also on a global scale. Personal transformation turning into global cooperation. Significant. It's a good time if you're already in the middle of a transformation. Keep at it. It's hard, but the possibilities on the other side are really, really amazing. And this is going to impress and make an impression, a positive impression and impact on large circles of society, okay? You might have a small sphere of influence, but the more positive and the more good and the more change, and that you can lead by example, it creates ripples effect that other people do take notice of. Other people want to see how you're doing it, what you're doing it. So don't be afraid to share and help, but also, again, guard a little bit against ones who want to take without doing the work themselves. And the very last thing I want to touch on is Neptune sextile Pluto. And again, this has been an influence the last month or so, long-lasting peacemaking attitudes on a global scale. So let's focus on that. That is the energy that I want to project. That's the energy that most of the people that are in my inner circle want to project. And so the tendency is still there to work with that energy and to bring about a really good, long-lasting, cooperative atmosphere, and that's what we're all about here at Essentially Genevieve, and that's what I hope to continue over this new moon and going forward, with our local events, with our more regional events, with our more global cooperations. Namaste, guys. Don't forget to sage your crystals, to meditate, to diffuse my nervous Nelly, or whatever brings you stability, calm, and peace. Make time for your loved ones, make time to improve, constantly improve. And yeah, so have a great Labor Day weekend. By the way, it is a holiday weekend here. So if you're working like I am, find time for rest and fun. If you're all about fun, just be careful, be safe as you're traveling, and till next time, mwah, ciao.